We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and today is Sunday, September 6th, and Angela and I just had one of the most profound experiences of our lives. Didn't we, babe?
We did. We are very blessed.
What did we do?
We just attended a weekend workshop on natural birthing, natural parenting, a birth shop, in fact.
Did it transform you?
Yeah, could probably say it did, yeah, on a very deep level.
Yeah, I'm a totally different person after leaving this place. And who we have here today on today's episode is birthing expert, natural birthing expert, Elena. Hi, Elena.
Hi.
Thanks.
You sound like a pro.
Thanks for coming on. How do you say your last name?
Russian last name Vladimirova, but you don't have to try it.
Okay. Cool. So we've learned a lot over this weekend, and thank you for doing this workshop, and I assume you do these types of workshops all the time?
All the time, all over the world.
Yeah, and I mean, we went way back into like when we were, coming into the planet from the void. And I guess like from all your experience, you've seen a lot of trauma from birthing in hospitals and stuff like that. And I guess your work is to, take it to natural birthing and just like the difference in children and things like that. Maybe you can go into that a little bit.
Maybe I could. It's, the focus of my work is not only the birth itself and not only natural birth. The focus is conscious procreation. And that's a much broader spectrum of understanding what our formative period entails, because basically the quality of our life is defined by the quite vast time frame of about 2 years, starting from conception through the first year of life. But that's only the narrow frame of looking at this whole event of coming into form. The actual influence that we're experiencing at this present moment in our bodies, no matter how old we are, if we're 20, if we're 50, if we're 70, we're experiencing the consequences of what our parents were involved in, what they were thinking, what they were eating few months prior to conception. By the time we were conceived, there was already forces in play that defined the quality of the mother's egg and the father's sperm. So then there comes into this whole formula, the whole recipe of making, of people making. There is a recipe to people making. So there comes into play all the ingredients that we are floating in as fetuses inside our mother's uterus. Everything she eats, thinks, feels, does, all of this is affecting the quality of amniotic fluids. It's affecting whether we have enough dopamines from her, or it's a stress hormone that is prevalent in her bloodstream. So basically by the time of birth, the basic settings of our nervous system are already in place. From that place, the actual process of birth is being sort of orchestrated and conducted. It depends largely on what we understand and know and feel about the world outside. Whether we feel welcomed, ecstatically anticipated. You know what I mean? When parents really, really want the baby is bathed in the specific field that delivers the message to the baby that this world is a safe place, that it's okay to come out and play, that it's okay to grow the body to be strong and healthy and beautiful. Or if there is the conflict, there is the war zone, if the parents are fighting, when there is uncertainty and decisiveness in the mother's approach to her pregnancy, if she doesn't really want that pregnancy, that happens a lot. So the baby is completely aware of those feelings, and that's the big news. Babies are completely sensing, feeling beings. They're not just senseless because they cannot talk yet. They have the very developed limbic system of the brain, which is a different part of the brain that is the cortex, that we usually, for all these decades since Mr. Freud used to understand as the brain, he was referring to cortex. But we have this other big, very important part of the brain that is called limbic system, that it is the home for our feelings and emotions. That is where we learn how to love or how not to love. And dismissing that aspect of our life doesn't pay. In the long term, when we look back at the history of the human species, it doesn't have that much love in it. Love is a privilege of those few who manage to connect directly, heart to heart, have a sense of belonging to the tribe that they're born into. And how many people do you know that can say that they really felt safe expressing themselves as children, growing into the world of nurture when their guardians and parents really knew what their needs were and how to take care of those needs. Unfortunately, it's a very small percentage of our human population at this point. And this is what my work is about, is to bring greater awareness about the correlation between the quality of our formative period and the quality of our life on this planet. This is what I'm very passionate and excited about, to bring in the new generation of humans that would be free from damage, free from trauma, from addiction to suffering, free from having to run their energy in survival mode, when they just have to somehow cope with all the challenges and intimidation of the world outside, when the baby is so free to just be open, be safe, explore, learn, in terms that the world is not imposing the new knowledge and conditions and rules, but the world that is curious to know what this baby is bringing, curious to see what this new arrival, it's a new model of humankind, every next generation is a new model with all the latest gadgets that the previous generations don't have. And instead of trying to put them in the box and teach them to live like the previous generations do, it would be so awesome to allow these babies to unfold and grow into themselves and really explore what those new capacities that they're bringing with them. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes, it would. This weekend, we went to our limbic imprint, and we kind of did some shifting around that. And I mean, Angela was telling me how white my eyes are, and I feel like I was reborn again here. And I mean, my mom had a C-section. I wasn't breastfed, and like I went back to that, and I see what.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.